today I want to talk about, I guess it's mostly about the calculation process. So we've been talking about that before. I will try to give you some, again, important tips how to have your calculation in the right way. And I'm going to begin today's lecture, and I'm going to continue on this lecture by providing you maybe a few examples from endgame studies, which I believe the best way for you would be to understand the process how we make decisions. Let's try to understand this position, how we do what we do. Well, clearly, white hopes to use this space advantage on the queen side, and white hopes as well to maybe try to push this pawn to the queen, right? But firstly, they have to deal with one problem. Problem, knight hanging. And problem B, this pawn one step away from being a queen. So clearly you're saying, all right then, I guess my picture is something like try to trade my knight with black pawn and then maybe push e pawn, and to his bishop, black will give away their own bishop for the pawn, and then my king will run away to the pawn, and I'm going to win a game. So let's see how many squares this guy has. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, this is immediately you're going to eliminate, because you must understand, don't ever put your knight versus your subject on diagonal position, because you will never reach this subject on h2 less than in 3 moves. So you have to spend 3 moves to attack this pawn. So it means no way. Trash. This. Well, same problem, because now black will get a position and then you're done. So very quickly you understand you have to make a choice between this and this. Even without calculating, you must see, so this sounds good, but you must see that gives black extra option bishop c3 to attack the knight. Even without understanding and calculating, you don't need even to bother yourself to go for that. Why would you give extra option for black to play bishop c3 if that option leaving black no choice and making them play king g1 anyway? Why? Because you can't play any bishop move, because it's kind of not smart, since I'm going to play a5, and then you know what? You're going to be in big trouble, all right? So, or I can actually play here because there's no actual improvement. You can't do anything. My point is, if you try to calculate and then say, you know what, oh, no, let me calculate, but you're going to waste your time. And in fact, after this, as I said, it might be not the win. So, knight h4, again, we use simple principle of elimination, leaving black no choice. We have reached first stage. We have reached the first stage, and now we need to understand what's our criteria. What are we playing for? In endgames, it's always important to consider spacing proper. So clearly, that's our chance, because this is last dark squares before a6 pawn reach a8 square, and especially this pawn blockades this diagonal. So it means bishop will struggle to defend a pawn. So you are looking for clearly to go away and try to pick up the pawn. But you must understand, all right, this is what it is. Black has this move, and suddenly they fine, they're okay. Since you saw this, your next step saying, oh my gosh, so I guess I need to do this, right? Looks like I'm fine, and it looks like the bishop has no way to stop my pawn. And if bishop will take the pawn, then I can either take or maybe not. But if you take, the same problem, because king still runs right step behind of you, and king still reaching c7 square, even black down so much space, they're still able to hold draw. So I guess the whole thing, you understand the concepts, again, by using simple principle of elimination, the whole concepts here is to make sure this guy doesn't have this diagonal to run. And what you do, you play e5, make him capture, and then you avoid this capture, and then you run and then you run, and then you run, and suddenly black king doesn't have this access, and they stepping away from original diagonal. No matter how they play, they lost. They lost because now this guy passed the queen. Again, is it required for me to calculate that deeply? Not really. Not really. Again, depends, let's say, what I'm saying that to you guys depends how much time you have on your clock. If you do have a time, then you're welcome to calculate the whole thing. But let's say in similar practical situations, could be middle game, could be end game. If you don't have much time to think, you can simply handle this kind of situation by understanding what's right and what absolutely cannot be accepted. We call it elimination. If you look for many books, many softwares, I mean, I like the books, it always giving you that chapter. It's called elimination process. And again, we will talk about that more and more, but I want you to understand the way how we think rationally, the way how we think by understanding what's the right and what's the wrong, simply understanding what cannot be accepted. And also I have to mention that, so black had no choice as well, because this is like from both sides the only way for play. Let's say if black tried to play something like this, for instance, and not to capture the pawn, and try to stop this pawn by playing, let's say, bishop c3 or bishop b2, doesn't matter. Then we have this, and now the problem is when black almost reached the fence, looks like they almost here, in case if we take the here and then reach the goal, suddenly white has this trick. They have this trick, and now game is over. Because now the pawn has deflected the black king from being on c7. I must take the pawn, otherwise the pawn is going to get queen, and then the king is far away to reach c7 square, and now we are simply winning again. So this is how it works. I hope you understand this, and I hope one day you're going to use the same weapon against your opponent. Yeah, this is another example for you guys. So clearly here, white has some issues with defending h8 knight. As you see, this knight is going to be die very soon. Let's say, what's our choice? If we're going to play bishop d5, kind of supporting my knight, then we deal with knight f4, and knight f4 will defend his pawn and then attack his bishop as well. All right, so I guess if we play here king h3, then after king g7, we can play probably this, and this, and it looks like we're okay because it looks like black has some problem developing here of pieces. But unfortunately, it doesn't work because black has very simple response. They have this response followed by this, and it kills the whole thing. Because we're going to play this, knight defended, bishop has no access to support white knight, and black bishop will simply pick up this knight. So here again, we're going to use principle of elimination. We're understanding if we have a choice, if we have a chance here to survive, it's all going to be because we need to use the position with those guys not being around. So I guess this move will come to your mind after spending maybe a few minutes. And again, even without calculating, you have to understand you must pick up this guy right away. Otherwise, he's going to play the knight f4, and it's going to be bother for you. Let's say if you play bishop f3 here, for instance, after bishop f3, if you play that move here, then this black has this amazing shot, and now we're in trouble. So the whole point, we need to understand our chance, our hopes, only it's miscoordination of black pieces. So we'll take it. So this comes to your mind supposed to be quickly. The knight has no squares. You only move. Again, using your principle of elimination, you understand your chance is to reach this square and reach that square, right? So the best, king g6 the best. Again, black doesn't have that much choice. If they played here knight d8, they deal with this strong shot, and now king in stalemate situations, bishop in stalemate situations, and the only way to play e6 to make any progress, and then simple shot, make a draw. So black has no choice. The only move, bishop d7. So basically, this position is supposed to be reached by you on autopilot. You have to understand kind of, you make like simple decisions, simple eliminations, right? What's right, what's wrong, what's right, what's wrong. And you will reach this position, you're supposed to be reaching this position within 5 minutes in your mind, maximum. Because you simply understood the rest was trash. Only now you are going to, apply serious calculation, serious stuff. And again, even here, you're going to understand your best move. Let's think about how. First, you want to play king f7, all right? But you can't play king f7 because knight d8 check attacks the king and attacks the bishop, and you lie. Then you think, all right, I must move my bishop, right? Where? We have big diagonal. We have so many squares. Where are we going to move our bishop? Bishop c6. Then he does this with tempo. Tempo, attack, defend, game over, pawn hanging, I'm lost. All right, bishop e8, same thing. Attack, no more contact, pawn hanging, I'm lost. Wow, bishop e4 maybe. Let's try this. Same thing. Anytime, no matter where you're going to play, knight can reach your bishop. Even if you're making like far moves, still. But then you say, oh my God, I have a square on which knight doesn't have a chance to reach me. Now, I have a threat. He can't take my pawn because I'm playing king f5 and attack these two guys, right? So since this is king f7, big time threat, forcing to play king d8. And now, my pawn hanging. Well, again, it's a very principal elimination. Even without seeing your future lines, you have to understand that's your best move. No matter, you don't care how black will play. And suddenly we have bishop d5. And what happens, it's very funny. What happens, so now we can see this pawn is not moving, this knight trap, this bishop can move, and the king can move. But anytime when bishop moves, you move your king. He attacks, you move back. This, and you still play your move, the best move. Any other squares will not work for the same reason, guys. Because you will learn this before, any move like that, he takes your attack, he attacked your bishop. So you must understand the only square for your bishop not to be attacked, it's h1. So you simply move around and black has no improvement. In fact, you don't really care about how this guy will go. Because if he goes, let's say, at the bishop h1, if black plays, let's say, king g8, right? You still do the same thing. You still go back here. And again, we don't have any improvement, because even if your black plays here, now we don't need to move our bishop. We can actually play this and play back. So this guy needs to be around here to protect the square. And that's how we are made a draw in this position. And again, the way how we made a draw, we simply applied principle of elimination. We simply understood what is right and what cannot be applied. You can call it elimination process, you can call it rational thinking process. It's really up to you. Many sources using different words, but the idea is the same. It's sometimes you are making decisions by simply understanding what cannot be applied. Well, I hope you got it. I hope you understood this, and it was an important tip for you to know. And we will talk about this principle of calculation tips in our future lectures. Thank you, and have a great day.